I've lived here for 48 years. It's rented. We moved here regardless of anything because it just was so lovely. It's a studio. It's got this amazing garden in the courtyard. I've got my own garden as well. Very peaceful, apart from the drilling next door. This is my printing table, and I bought it a long time ago. I don't think I bought it. I took it from somebody, from a friend. So it was absolutely immovable. And now it has these rolling wheels, which are amazing. So this enormously heavy thing can roll around the room. I had this screen made that fits this table exactly, and I can print a 3-meter piece of fabric. The squeegee is as big as the table. So it takes 2 people. It's a bit of a nerve-wracking process. I am a printer, that is all I am. I mean, I'm a fabric textile printer, and they're all one-off things. So they're sort of contrary to the principle of printing, which is all about repeat. So this is my bedroom. Looking at it now, I can't quite believe it, but my sons used to jump onto the sofa they didn't stand on here. I think they must have put their feet a bit further down. I don't know, but I didn't think it was dangerous at the time. Often come up here just to see whether something looks okay or not, and then move that whole table to be immediately underneath me so that I've got a bird's eye view of it. I always used to think it would be quite nice to have a studio, but I now realise that if I can get any work out of myself, it's probably better if I'm at home, because well, maybe I've had some tiny experience of the other, and you'd go and then you'd left your scissors behind. I actually really enjoy this, and I like the fact that it's used. You know, this is a proper studio. This mural happened because Patrick, my ex-husband, he came round and started doing painting with the paint pots that were around. Later, my middle son painted in, I think, some of the fruit, and then Patrick came another time and did some more. The room at that point was blue, this blue, and recently I've repainted it pink, but obviously it couldn't be pink into there, so I came up with this solution of having an oval. It's recently got this addition. It was meant to be a birthday card. Then I thought I like it as it is, so I didn't do any writing on it. And then I really like the fact that it's hanging there, and at night it does some really nice things. And then the other thing in here that is very much to do with Patrick is this table which he painted. He had a tiny sample of marble, green marble, really small, and he painted it, and I varnished it, and he was always extremely proud of this. So in this room, this painting here was given me. It's just a detail of a painting by Waterhouse, who was in this studio in the early 1900s. And this man came, American man, and he was completely, I think obsessed might be the right word, with finding out the name of the person who was a model for Waterhouse. And he travelled all over England with his wife searching for this name and this woman. And finally he found out her name, which is Muriel Foster. He sent me this from America because he was a framer as well. He had a framing company. And I received it and I thought, I can't put that anywhere. You know, I would never have something framed like this. And then now I would definitely not want to lose it because it's got its place. I've always loved this garden, and I feel incredibly privileged to be living here at all. When we first moved here, there was a huge tree that was sort of growing out of the wall, and I've gradually realised that nature doesn't have to control you, that you actually can control it a bit. And that tree eventually came down, and the whole place is so much lighter. One of the people who helps me on a Wednesday is a very good gardener, and he often comes out here, and I find that the roses have been trained, lots of family meals here. And the blue chairs, yeah, I think I've got them from Habitat, and I like the idea of them being bright and cheerful. This is my washing out area, and so that huge screen will be I'll lean there, and I've actually got a power hose now. The reason I chose it was because there's also this, fake marbling on here, and which I've always loved. And Patrick had some cousins. They bought and sold marble, and they came here and they wouldn't believe it wasn't real. And then this head of a cherub, angel, apparently, I think in the 30s, Lord Methuen and his wife this was their London home, and she was very keen on angels, I believe. There are lots of very nice things here. Can't be all about Patrick, can it? But so this is a card that Patrick made for my father, and on the back it says that. And my sister had this idea of putting a mirror so that you could actually read it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I love it. I mean, isn't that a complicated message? A sculpture made by a good friend, Nick Munro, who actually died this year. He was going to throw it down the well, like he threw loads of his work. He worked in the country near Hungerford, and Patrick saved it from the well, and so yeah, it's been here ever since. And it's one of these. It's such a nice sort of. Is it anthropomorphic? Is that the right word? It's got so many things about it that are so clever. This is a painting by Howard Hodgkin. Well, it was an early one, and I love it. It's apparently a woman in a wheelchair. I think it's in his catalogue raisonné, actually, now. Patrick had a studio in their house in Shepherd's Bush, and Howard was putting things on the bonfire, and Patrick said he'd look after this rather than let it go on the bonfire, and so that was how we had it. This is a painting by John Hoyland, who was a very good friend, and the reason why we moved here, because he was living at number 12. I get very attached to things, and I'm very attached to that. And I've often thought, if that was put outside the door as somebody's moving out, it would just get chucked away, wouldn't it? Because who's going to know about it apart from the people who know?
The Modern House, selling thoughtfully designed homes across the UK.